Millennials of Reddit, what lie were you told growing up? In Finland, we were told that once the big age group born after World War II retires, there will be jobs everywhere, for everyone. That didn't happen. The number of open positions has remained stagnant for 10 years while the unemployment rate is rising. The same here. These guys don't want to retire, or companies only want temps. Most people on the internet are dangerous weirdos. Most people on the internet are really freaking ordinary people. Ordinary people are weirdos. That if I don't have my life figured out by the time I'm 25, then I have some serious problems. This gives me anxiety to this day. As a 28-year-old, I have this inherent anxiousness about my life creeping up in age and not knowing how the frick I'm going to survive the years to come. Go to college, I'll pay for it. My $39k debt says otherwise. All my childhood, go to a state school and we'll pay for it. Right before college, well, we can't pay for it but we'll pay off the interest while it's accruing and you're in school. Graduation, yeah, we didn't do any of that. I try not to expect people will just give me money, but if they say over and over that they will, it's hard not to expect it. Get a bachelor's degree and you are set for life as far as a job career is concerned. My nana told me the I'm feeling lucky button on Google would put a virus on the computer. I'm 23 and I've never clicked it. I'm honestly not even sure what it does. But what if it does put a virus on the computer? Googling what does the I'm feeling lucky button do would do no good because they'd just cover their own tracks. Pretty sure it goes straight to the very first link in the search. My grandpa told me the world was in black and white before color TV existed. I'm going to do the same but with resolution. Back in my day we were all 8-bit. Man, the girls sure got better looking when we moved up to 16. TV always told me pouring a capful of any bubble bath will give me a whole tub of large bubbles. I haven't found a soap that does that even with like half the bottle used. You need to put the cap right under where the water comes out before you start filling. The force breaks it up and makes way more bubbles. The biggest lie we were ever told was that we needed to go to school to graduate and get a desk job in order to be successful. We were told it's shameful to work a trade and work a job where you have to shower after coming home dirty. Less and less millennials are going into skilled trades or going to trade schools. Those that do are finding they can live very comfortably and there's no glass ceiling. You can work your way up and live very well. Also, with less and less people going into trades, the cost of skilled labor in the future is going to be very high. People will be able to name their prices. I did customer service, retail fast food, for 13 years, jumped into a trade, scaffolding, and now get paid more than most of my non-trade desk worker friends. I can attest. You go to work, earn money. After 50 years you can be happily retired. No, it doesn't work that way. Not anymore. My mom told me to plan to take care of her when she got old, because she wouldn't have retirement money saved up. She died before I was out of the house. Most everything else was great advice. Yo, get good grades, because we can't afford to pay for your college. Don't marry the first guy who asks, just because you're afraid no one else will. I think the second part of that last statement was good, but I'm happy my wife said yes to me, the first guy who asked. That this war is worth fighting for. Join the infantry. 2 theaters later and a crap ton of baggage. I've been to rehab and have weekly classes dealing with PTSD. Now I get to look back on my handiwork and see it was for nothing. Nothing has changed. I was told that the AIDS virus was smaller than the pores in a latex condom, so you had to wait until you were married to have intercourse, otherwise you could get AIDS even with a condom. I was told that pot was more dangerous than coke and having one joint with the equivalent of smoking 4 cigarettes at once and it can kill you. I was told that taking shrooms could put you in a vegetative coma for the rest of your life. I was also told that legalizing gay marriage would lead to bestiality and being able to marry ducks. That I'm smart but lazy. I'm actually just completely average, but thanks to this lie I never developed any studying habits in high school that bit me in the butt hard in college. I found one of my old accounts. I wasn't aware I even had one. It will all make sense when you're older. Frick that, everything makes even less sense. Now I'm older and expected to be independent and still don't understand half the crap I need to accomplish that successfully. See, this one is misleading. The stuff you're going through now will make sense later. Later's stuff is still confusing and infuriating, but if a 20-year-old asks you something when you're 30, you probably have good advice for them. You don't want to end up like me with a union labor job. You need to go to college. I'd kill to have a union job. Be loyal to your company. They'll take care of you. Also, follow your dreams. Get a house with a yard, and you'll be able to retire. I was told that intercourse was a reward gifted by women to be bestowed upon deserving men. Growing up, it was awkward and incredibly embarrassing to understand that women can enjoy and want intercourse just as much as men. This line of thinking is what creates incels and nice guys. That they had it so much harder than us growing up. It's kinda crazy to think about this. My parents, for example. Dad paid cash for a house when he was 26. Paid cash for all his vehicles until the late 90s. These were new vehicles from a dealership. Supported a family of 6 on $60K a year and put money in savings. My mom paid her own way through college and graduate school by working. Everything's just way more expensive now. Don't go into X, Y, or Z for the money. You'll end up hating it. Motherfrika, the only reason I'm even considering career fields is for money. Bonus points if it's interesting. But literally everything gets reduced to a puddle of suck once you start doing it 40 hours per week. I would love to be the delusional sunshine daydream butthole who comes to work because he likes it. But that just isn't me. Pay me well and I will perform slightly better than average work, and whisper sweet nothings into my ear, and I might even stay a little longer than necessary sometimes. But make no mistake, I am only in it for the money. Once that's gone, so am I. That Marilyn Manson had a rib removed so he could suck his own dong. You don't need work experience, grades will be enough. That might have been okay in the past, but then the global financial crisis hit and employers became much fussier. Not a single prospective employer I had an interview with gave a crap about my grades. They barely even asked about the degree at all. But they all wanted to know about what I did for my internships, my thesis, and why I only lasted 3 months at my first real-world job. Never give out your personal information online. Now that's all the internet is. Everyone's personal information. It's better advice now than ever. It's ridiculously easy to see where some random person took a photo, and possibly where they live. Today must be a predator's golden age. You need to define yourself by your job. I wasn't told this directly, but we live in a culture of dream jobs or people asking what's your job when they meet you. My work is cool, but it's just work. My hobbies are what I define myself around. It's so ingrained. They don't even ask what your job is. They ask you what you do. Like sometimes I play StarCraft. Man. You'll regret spending so much time on that computer when you're older. Nope. That receiving participation trophies were our fault. No kid was out there demanding a trophy for losing. Some dumbass parent thought it would be nice for their kid to get a trophy, so somehow this has become normal and everyone claims some 5-year-old masterminded the whole thing. So many movies growing up have people going to college, finishing at like 21, and already being engaged and married immediately after. Then within like 2 years of working they're already buying a house with like 3 kids by 25. Like Jesus Christ, I'm 26 and just got engaged, only now getting a career in my field, and I'm still living at my parents' after living away for like a year. Everything's just so dang expensive and there's just no money to be found. I can't imagine raising kids yet. Yay, the living with parents thing is way more socially accepted now, because the struggle is real. Always check your Halloween candy because someone might have put drugs in there. Drugs are expensive. No one is giving that crap away for free to children, but I still check my kids' candy for open wrappers just in case there's any funny business, and Reese's cups. Be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer and you will be happy and make lots of money. I know so many underemployed lawyers that it's a little depressing. I don't know a single MD that isn't divorced, although I know a lot of happy dudes. I do know a lot of happy, wealthy engineers though. People like to tell you what's popular at the time, not looking into the future. 2000, join a .com, crap. 2005, become a lawyer, crap. 2010, become a petroleum engineer, crap. Now join a .com. That I'm smart. I was smart, sure for a kid, but as I've gotten older that's even out significantly. I may know a lot of trivia and a lot about certain key subjects, but those are not actually marketable skills. So I work nights at a hotel and squeak by, living with my parents and racking up credit card debt to make ends meet. Fats are bad for you. All guys will only want intercourse from you all the time. Turns out that kind of thinking is harmful to a young woman's psychological development. Holy crap, yes. My super strict Italian Roman Catholic grandmother told me, if a man ever says he loves you it's only because he wants intercourse. Thanks, Gram. That turning on the lights in the car is illegal. My parents would act like Armageddon was imminent when someone had to turn on the dome light when I was little. Now they sit in the passenger seat while I'm driving at night and look at their phones with the screen brightness turned all the way up. That we could buy a house, grow old and retire. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Everyone in here is forgetting that we were supposed to have flying cars by now. Everyone was poor and there was no progress in the Middle Ages. That going to college meant you could get a job. Also that you even needed to go to college. Growing up we were always taught that you had to go to college to be successful, but that turned out to be a complete lie. Student loans are normal, don't be afraid to go into debt for that out-of-state graduate degree. That the government represented the views of the people. That the Dewey Decimal System is essential, and that I would need to learn it to be successful in life. I haven't been in a library in years. You can be anything you want when you grow up, except what you want to do won't pay the bills, so pick something else. Also, if you got crap genes you probably can't be a basketball star, astronaut, etc. Money doesn't buy happiness, sorry folks, but in the world I'm currently living in, it absolutely does. There was actually a study I read a while ago about how much money will buy happiness, and if I remember right it's somewhere in the $60.80,000 salary range, so money certainly does equal happiness. You won't have a calculator everywhere you go. Guess what, Mrs. Diaz? I have a portable computer with access to the internet that fits in the palm of my hand. And I can watch P on it too. That I would need and use cursive. It will get better. This generation is the generation of learning how bad it's gonna get and seeing if we can find it within ourselves to cope at every new low. Chewing Orbit and Stride gum kills your brain cells. I had anxiety as a kid and used to obsessively chew gum to ease my mind. Thanks mom and dad. Now I am a nail biter. You have been visited by the healthy spirit of exercise. Boy, you will burn all calories today. If you comment blessed be the health hound, like and subscribe, you magnificent person.